I think the biggest security challenges we see with most of our customers to date are that they simply do not have the expertise or the resources to investigate, all the EDR alerts, and they don't have necessarily the understanding of their own networks. They just don't have the right resources, the right people. And it's not that they couldn't, it's that they don't right now, right? And that it is very difficult to bring enough people on to monitor your environment 24/7.
A lot of times, that's the doorway. Phishing emails and social engineering and whatnot. Even Sue in accounting knows what you do not do. It's been getting more difficult. Cybersecurity, you have to be aware of more things and do more because the enemy is out there and he's at the door. It's a constant struggle, keeping things safe.
What I think the coolest thing about cybersecurity is it affects everyone. We don't need to think about cybersecurity and cyber threat groups at a national level, but we need to look at them as criminals and criminal organizations that can target anyone they feel fit. And so it is a world problem, it is your problem, it is a business's problem, and hopefully you have the right people, process, and technology in place to deal with it.
Definitely the feeling that you're solving a puzzle when you're getting to the bottom of those investigations and figuring out what happened. Solving puzzles, solving problems, just being able to finish that and find out what happened is amazing. I love it.
To see how things have evolved over time, how not just attacks have evolved, but also how we as security professionals and as the industry has changed our mindset. You have to evolve your thinking.
There's always a new challenge or a new puzzle to solve, and often it encourages you to be creative about your approach, so it keeps me pretty invested.
The next 10 years, where's cybersecurity going? A lot of things are going to become automated, artificial intelligence now, and I think that security is just going to kind of transform to where it moves. Electric vehicles, or self-driving features that Tesla's trying to push out and things like that. Having security behind that is going to be another concern.
The expertise is in the civilian market, and national governments are realizing it, and they're realizing that there's technology and people and expertise in some of these cybersecurity companies. And so we're going to see a lot more sharing going on, and you're going to see these governments reach out to these experts in these fields and these civilian companies to help them. So you're going to see a lot more collaboration and sharing of information between governments and the civilian sector.
So I think it'll be in about the same place that we're at now. There will be innovations in technology, there'll be advances and all of those things, but you're still going to have attackers who are ingenious. They are able to get around those defenses. So there are going to be applications that will have those hidden flaws in them that an attacker is going to be able to exploit. You still will have analysts on the other side of that trying to protect against those attackers. Recommendations that would help customers understand and improve are very important because we don't want them to have that same issue within their environment. So providing them recommendations on how they can fix those things is a good way to secure their network without having to have that influx of incidents or detections.
We see stuff on a day-to-day where we recommend to the customer, hey, you may want to patch this. You may want to have a user reset their password. It looks like maybe they, clicked on a link and gave up their credentials, because we don't necessarily have access to the customer's Active Directory and things like that, right? We had an incident with one of our customers. We received the detection, and it looks like somebody was in the environment, honestly. It looks like things were going on that shouldn't have been. And so after collecting some data, we reached out to the customer. We let them know what we were seeing. We recommended resetting some passwords. It looked like some accounts had been breached. They had a SonicWall VPN that looked like it wasn't patched. So a couple weeks went on, and then a ransomware attack happened. So we looked into it. They didn't take the recommendations up front, and the customer was popped with ransomware. And that's why having communication with the customer is so important, so we understand when they do take those recommendations.
Discovering relevant intelligence for our customers, applying that to them in various different ways. And so an example of that would have been, we saw an APT, which is an advanced persistent threat targeting a religious organization in China. We investigated that APT, researched them, understood what they were doing, and provided that information back to our customer that was in the same industry as the one being targeted. That kind of intelligence allows us to kind of get ahead of the threat. It gives them that information and they're able to understand or deal with it in a better way because of the information we provide to them.
Customers can send RFIs as well. So if they're hearing about something in the media, for instance, and they're afraid that it may potentially affect them, they'll say, hey, can you tell us more information about this threat that we're hearing about or this vulnerability? And so we'll do that. We'll give them a short write-up of it, to then let them know, like, yes, you do have this tool, or no, you don't have to worry about this, or give them, of course, recommendations, and then show them how it is that we're protecting them against those threats.
We have a customer who is in the healthcare field. Their environment wasn't very maintained. They came over to us to help get them on track. They didn't have really any type of like strong restrictions or privilege access. So their users were just plugging in erroneous devices, browsing wherever they wanted to. So they did get popped, and what we were able to do is gather up that information for them and work hand in hand with them and then send them a report of the devices, the applications, and the locations for that. And then also remediation steps to increase their posture so they don't have something like that happen again in the future.
With that communication with the customer, we can understand when they've taken those actions, so we know, what to be on the lookout for, so that we can update our cases and update, our side of the situation.
Our customers have acknowledged that they don't have all the people or the expertise to deal with the threats. And so they're looking for the guidance. And I think it's because when you get a incident that's been, bundled up, wrapped up, nice little bow on top, you feel really good about briefing that to your leadership about what happened, and that you feel comfortable enough knowing that it really did get taken care of.
In a hyper-connected world, where cyber attackers seek to do harm 24/7, and organizations face unpredictable risk, Bitdefender is built for resilience. Choose our security platform or managed service to become a more cyber-resilient business. Unified endpoint security and analytics. Bitdefender Gravity Zone works across endpoints and hybrid workloads with high-efficacy analytics, multiple security functions, and easy administration. Unmatched attack prevention. Bitdefender prevention technologies and machine learning models identify and stop more attacks. We don't just detect and respond after the fact. Experts you can hold accountable. Our Security Operations Center works for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Attackers never sleep, and neither do we. If we call you at 3 a.m., we'll have an action plan, not just a ticket. Advanced threat intelligence built in. Bitdefender Labs is on the front lines of threat research, closely collaborating with law enforcement and academia, continuously building threat intelligence from hundreds of researchers into our prevention technologies, security analytics, and MDR operations. Better return on investment. We've engineered the complexity out of security to provide significant risk reduction without increasing staff or buying tools and services from multiple vendors. Built to prevent. Built to detect. Built to respond. Choose Bitdefender. Built for resilience.